Continue with what we were doing earlier in the week. So a little bit of back bending. So just be careful and take it easy. You don't have to actually do any back bending if you don't want to. So if you feel pain when you start to bend, just stay with the straight spine and focus on lengthening the spine rather than bending. We're just going to be doing some mini back bends that are really good for energizing, kind of opening up the front body, kind of opening up yourself, your emotions, and all sorts of things. So remember just to take it easy. This is your practice. You can also use your props. So if you've got a scarf, we will actually be using this in the warm-up. So grab a scarf or a towel, anything that you can just hold between the hands for shoulder stretching. You can use blocks, cushions, pillows, anything that you have for support. So go ahead and use whatever you need. We're going to come into a child's pose to start the class. So bringing the toes together, the knees out nice and wide, walk the hands forward and just lower the head down onto the floor and soften the body and relax. Allow the hips to sink back towards your heels and the nose to crease up towards the forehead. Take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And just let the body settle into this pose and really start to focus on your breath. And we'll take a few moments, as we always do before we start moving, to really become more connected with the breath, to arrive and be more present with your body and your mind. So start to lengthen your breath, breathing in through the nose. And if you want, you can breathe out through the mouth, making a big sound, sighing it out. Making those breaths nice and long and deep. Relax your arms. And just observe the breath. Observe how the body feels. And just allow yourself a few moments to really arrive here. Breathing deep in through the nose. And as you breathe out, try to lengthen that exhale, maybe even longer than the inhale. Release all of the all of the breath out, emptying yourself out, releasing any toxins, any stress, any tension. And just notice with every breath you take, your focus comes more and more inwards. Preparing yourself for the practice so you can really just be here for the next hour. Try to forget about the outside world, your job, your responsibilities. Just really zone into this space. Allowing the hips to maybe sink a bit closer to the heels. Softening the shoulders, the head and the neck. And always coming back to the breath. Taking another deep breath in through the nose. Really fill the belly up if you have that space between the legs, and then exhale through the mouth. Again, take another deep breath through the nose, really fill the belly up. And then make a loud noise, sigh the breath out through the mouth. Your next breath in, just push into the palms, walk the hands back. Bring the knees together and tuck the toes, coming up to sit back onto the heels. So we're doing favorite toe stretch. So if this hurts, don't worry too much. You can come down at any point. We're just going to stay here for a short while. Try to tuck all 10 toes. And then breathe in, interlace the fingers, turn the palms inside out, pushing them up and stretching through the sides of the waist. Breathe in as you lengthen, raising the chest nice and high. Pull the lower belly in. Keep breathing, try not to hold the breath. Take one more breath in to find even more length. And exhale, just gently turn to the left. You want to just move slightly so you can feel the stretch all down the right side. Don't move too far so you fall over or you feel too much pain or you can't breathe. Take another breath in here and exhale. Come back to center one more time. Breathe in, reach up, and just exhale to the opposite side. If you need to come down off the feet, you can, don't worry. Breathe in. Breathe out, maybe deepen that stretch. And then inhale, come back to center, reach up. As you exhale, push the hands away from you so the palms face towards you and lower the chin down. You should feel a stretch down the back of the neck, all across the upper back. If you want, you can come down off the feet and focus on rounding, draw the lower belly in and pull the mid back away from the hands. Really stretching the upper back, trap muscles, down the neck. Take a breath in and reach up. Take a gentle back bend and then exhale again, round to counteract that back bending pose. And then bring the hands to the back of the neck. Use the weight of the arms to gently stretch. You can push up into the hands if you want to intensify it, or simply just use the weight of your arms to gently stretch into the neck. And your next inhale, open the elbows out wide and look up, and then exhale to round. 2 more times. Inhale, open up the elbows wide, exhale, round, fold forward. Last time, inhale to open up, exhale to round. Coming back up to center, fingers onto the shoulders. You're going to take those side stretches now, so just waving the elbows from side to side. So your elbows should be straight, so they're parallel to the floor. Try and keep the gaze straight ahead and only move the upper back. You might be moving slightly lower, but that's fine. Just focus, send the focus to the upper back. Maybe move a bit quicker. Start to feel some heat now. Some fluid movement, waking up the body, waking up the spine. Keep breathing. And release. We're going to walk the hands back behind us now. You might feel quite an intense stretch already on the top of the feet. See if you can just lift the knees up slightly. Should feel nice after that toe stretch. Again, if this hurts too much, you can always lower down. If your knees hardly lift up, don't worry. All you need to do is be feeling something. So keep breathing. I know this is intense. This is intense for me right now, especially if you've been standing all day long. This will feel even more intense. And then slowly come forward onto the hands and knees. Walk the knees back so that they're underneath the hips. So you've got a nice straight line here. Shoulders above the wrists. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Make sure that they're shoulder distance. Just going to move from side to side. Starting to introduce a bit of weight into the wrists and the hands. And then make circles. So moving the shoulders forward so the weight comes forward over your hands. And back. So it's really important that we warm into the wrists before we start putting our weight onto the hands. Reverse directions of the circle. And if you're finding that you have any wrist pain after class, you can always do an extra wrist warm up before we start. I do like to include them in every class, but sometimes I do forget, so apologies about that. Just turn the hands so the fingers face back towards the knees. And again, this is really intense, so just go easy. You can move the knees closer to the hands if you want to take some pressure off. Stay here if this is enough, or you can start to slowly pull back. Keep breathing. Try not to sink into the shoulders. Keep some space around the neck and the ears, and gently pulse back. Another reason why you might have wrist pain is just because maybe it's a new practice for you and you don't do this very often. As humans, we're not actually designed to be on our hands. So it's just about getting the body used to it, building strength, even in the fingers, the wrists, and the hands. Drop the knees slightly further forward to take some pressure off. As you come up, just raise the palms and start to stretch into the fingers. Keep breathing, and again, just go as gently as you can. You don't want to be damaging your hands and wrists. Release the hands, shake them out. And then make circles, create a fist, and just roll the wrists. Go in both directions and change sides, making sure you feel about even on both sides. Coming back down, and just turn the hand upside down. So the top of the hand comes onto the mat, fingers face back towards the knees. You can stay here with just one hand flipped, or you can come onto both sides. And we'll do the same again, the opposite way around, gently pulsing forward and back. Now, if this is too intense, please just do one hand at a time, changing when you're ready. Just 3 more breaths, so flip sides if you're on the left side. And pause for a second, take a breath to hold that stretch. And then slowly release. Again, coming back, shaking the hands out. Open and close the hands for a few seconds. Keep going, maybe a bit faster. And release, come back to all fours. We'll take a few rounds of cat-cow. So placing the hands spread nice and wide under the shoulders, push through the palms, and then inhale to arch, bringing the tailbone up and opening the chest, taking the gaze up. As you exhale, chin comes down, pushing the upper back away from the floor and belly comes in, tailbone down. Inhale the opposite way, look up. Exhale, round the back, going gently now. We're not fully warmed up, so just be nice. Inhale to arch. Roll the shoulder blades down the back. Exhale to round, really pull the navel up towards the spine. One more time, inhale. And exhale to round. Come back to center. Walk the hands back. We're coming into a yogi squat now. So find your way onto your feet. If your heels don't come down, don't worry. Just find some movement here from side to side. Creating some space in the hips and the ankles and the feet. In fact, if you're on your tiptoes, you can't bring the ankles down. It just means that you're working a bit harder in the legs. And then find some stillness. Interlace the fingers except for the first finger and thumb. And we're going to breathe in to push all the way up, point up. And exhale to lower down. Creating some heat, some warmth, some space in the hips. Exhale to lower, just be careful of the knees. Inhale, point up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time, inhaling up. Exhale down. And then we're going to stay up as we inhale. Keep the hands interlaced and the fingers pointing up. Just walk the feet so that they're parallel to each other. We're going to start to work on our back bends now. So I want you to inhale, reaching up, lift the chest up really high. And then exhale, draw the tailbone down towards the floor. And really root down through the heels and all 10 toes, so you're really grounded into the mat. Breathe in, raise the chest as high as you can. Reach up and keep breathing, don't hold the breath. We're creating as much length as we can from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Lifting the chest, engaging the thighs, pushing down through the heels, breathe in. And as you exhale, just pull the biceps behind the ears, maybe start to back bend from the upper back. If you find you're struggling, you can't breathe, just stay up straight. Focus on pulling the lower belly in. And practice that again. Find that lift in the chest. Draw the bum down towards the heels, engaging the thighs. Start to arch only from your upper back. You want to create these safe back bends now. If you soften the glutes and start to lean back, you should feel immediately you'll put too much pressure in the low back. So you want to create length. Rise, rise, raise up, and then arch back. Take one last big breath in here, get as tall as you can. And this time we're going to fold forward, bend the knees, sigh the breath out. Grab the elbows, come into a forward fold. Start to sway from side to side and just find some movement that feels really good for your hamstrings, for your legs. Making sure you're bending the knees if you're struggling to fold.
If you want to, you can hold one leg straight, one leg bent. Feel that extra stretch in the hamstring, calf muscles. Let the head be nice and heavy and relaxed. And then change sides. Keep breathing deep and free. Let's do one more on the other side. Bend and straighten the opposite leg to what you have just done. And change. Come back through center. Release the hands. Inhale, find length, halfway lift. If you can't come onto the floor, you can bring the hands to the shins. Just try to find length in the spine and the legs. You can have bent legs as well if you need to. Take a breath in here. And exhale to step back to plank. So place the hands on the floor nice and strong, and then step both legs back. Come into a strong plank pose. Start to shift forward and back. So you're coming onto your tiptoes, not your fingertips. And you're putting some weight into the wrists. And then just push the hips up and back, coming into the first downward dog of the class. Feet hips distance, hands just a bit wider than shoulders. Roll your triceps down so they're away from the ears. Push the hips up and back. Relax the head and neck. If your back is rounded, then bend the knees. If your heels are lifted, again, bend the knees. Pull the belly back towards the thighs. Pull the low belly in and lift the tailbone up to the sky. Breathe here and maybe pedal through the legs. Again, you can move slow. You can hold on one side, whatever feels good. Again, in your down dog, just experiment with what feels more stable and secure for you. You might bring the feet out a bit wider. That might feel better. Maybe you turn the heels out slightly, pushing the hips back. And you can always experiment as you're moving through your journey of building strength in these postures. And we're just going to shift forward and lower the hips down. Come into a lazy up dog. And then shift back to child's pose. And downward facing dog. So we're finding some fluid movement here. So do what you feel feels nice today. Maybe even you're just staying in child's pose, an up dog, or you're coming straight back to your down dog. We want to start to create some fluid movement for the back as we arch. Really introducing some movement into the spine. Remembering your breath. Exhaling as you push back and inhaling as you open the chest, open the heart. Just a few more rounds here. Find that movement, fluidity. Also experimenting with the space between the hands and the feet. See what happens when you move forward. Do you find that you're too far over the hands? Do you need to step forward or do you need to step back? Breathe in. And on your next exhale, come back to your downward facing dog. Find some stillness. Bring the feet together. And we're raising the right leg. Breathe in. And then bend the knee, just open the hip nice and wide. Turning the torso to look under your right shoulder. See if you can lift the hip up, the knee even higher. Exhale, release. Opposite side, raise the left leg up. Bend the knee, open the knee, and the hip out wide. Lift the knee even higher. Exhale to release. Good. Now we're going to raise the right leg up. And then just step forward with the right foot. Don't worry if you can't quite step forward elegantly or gracefully. Just find your way here. Untuck the back toes and raise the arms up. Grab the opposite elbows. And you're not going to stay here and sink lazily into the front leg. I want you to push through that front heel. Ground down through the whole surface of the foot. You can widen the legs from this distance here if you want, so you're not on a tightrope. Grabbing the elbows, pushing through that front heel, and then try to draw the front heel and the back knee towards each other without actually moving them. That should turn on the thighs and the glutes. Pull the low belly in. Again, raise the chest high like we did before in that standing posture. And then maybe take the arms back behind the ears and start to sink a little bit further forward. Do as many adjustments as you need, finding that strength, whilst protecting the lower back and gently arching. Take one more breath in here, and exhale, straighten that front leg, flexing the front foot. You can always move the knee or the heel further away from each other. Take a breath in to find length in the spine, And exhale. If you have the space, if it's in your practice, start to fold forward. If this is already too advanced for you, you can stay here. Just focus on straightening that front leg. You can always take support. I always say, especially if you've got tight hamstrings, these blocks are a great tool in these poses. Really working on not folding forward if this is already difficult. Just work on staying here, work on this leg. Find that length as you breathe in. Tucking the tailbone up. Intensify that stretch in the leg and then exhale. Start to fold forward. Pull the belly in. That will help you to get deeper. Maybe even walking the hands further forward. Keep the front toes flexed. And relax. As much as you can in this deep hamstring stretch. Take one last breath in for length. And exhale to deepen. And then we'll come back into that lunge, slide that heel back and bend the front leg. You're going to plant the palms, step back to plank. See if you can stay here, find that strength. We're shifting forward to the toes. And then we're going to bend the elbows and lower slowly down to the belly. Untuck the feet, push and point through the top of the feet. And just roll into a baby cobra, keeping the elbows bent and tucked in. Shoulder blades spread away from each other. Thumb gently squeezing down to the heels. Exhale, look down. Inhale, push up. And exhale back to downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Find that extra space in the pelvis as you push down through the heels. Bring the feet together, raise the left leg up. Exhale to step forward. Again, if you can't step all the way, you can step halfway and just use your hand to help you. Untuck the back toes, widen the knee and the heel. Raise the arms up. Grab the opposite elbows this time. Might feel a bit unfamiliar. And push through that front heel, dragging the front heel and the back knee towards each other, drawing the lower belly in and starting to arch from the upper back. Again, go gentle. If this doesn't feel good, then just pull the belly in and come back up. Maybe start to sink forward and be a bit more focused on the hips. Notice how different it feels when you just let yourself sink lazily forward. Might feel really good for a second. And then start to strengthen through the legs again, drawing them together isometrically, opening the chest. Take one last breath here. And exhale to straighten that front leg. Scooch that knee back if you need to. Flex the front foot. Breathe in for length. And exhale, fold just to your own degree. Or using your support. Tuck the tailbone up. Draw that left hip back so that your hips are nice and square. And really flex the toes back towards you. You should feel that calf stretch. You might even experiment with pointing the foot. Maybe you need that stretch in the top of the foot more so than the hamstring. Breathe in. Pull the lower belly in as you exhale and fold deeper. One last breath in and out. And then we're going to come back into that lunge, scooch the heel back, bend into that leg. Plant the palms, step back to your plank, find strength in your plank. Try not to sink into the shoulders, really push through the palms. You want to create a smooth upper back. And then we're going to lower down slowly to the belly. And then push into an up dog this time. So I want you to straighten the arms, lift the legs off the floor, and then roll the shoulders down the back, look up. Again, don't crunch into the shoulders. Open the shoulder blades, spread away from each other. Keep holding here, breathe in. As you breathe out, push the hips up and back. Come into downward facing dog. Exhale. Just check your hands are nice and strong. The hands will really help you in downward facing dog. Make sure the fingers are spread. You can gently grip through the fingertips. Really push through the first finger and thumb, sending the hips up and back. Triceps roll down away from the ears. Firm the forearms in. Tuck the lower belly in. Maybe start to push the heels a little bit further towards the floor if you can. If your heels are really flexible and you can't really feel anything, you can lift the toes up. Just keep breathing. Find strength and stability in your downward facing dog. I know this posture is a challenge, even though it looks simple. And then bring the feet together. Raise the right leg up. And again, step forward. Leave the left knee up this time. I like to widen the feet after I step forward. Just helps me feel more stable. And then inhale to come all the way up. Coming into a high lunge. So we're starting to build some heat and really start to embrace these challenging postures now. If you can straighten that back leg. If it hurts the low back, keep it bent or bring it down to the floor. See if you can find strength. Really push through that back heel, pull the lower belly in. Maybe sink deeper into that front knee. Draw the arms behind the ears and start to arch into the upper back. Breathe in here. And exhale, open the arms out wide so that they're in a cactus arm shape. So the elbows are bent. As you inhale, scoop the air forward and bring the elbows and the palms to touch. Exhale, open up for cactus arms. Inhale, round forward. Exhale, open out wide. Inhale, round forward. Again, if the back hurts, you can bend that back leg. Open up. Inhale, scoop the air forward. One last time. Exhale to open. Find that balance. Inhale, scoop forward. Exhale, step back to plank pose. Stay in your plank if you can, or you can bring the knees down, whatever you want. Take a vinyasa. You can lower down. Come into an up dog, or you can simply push back into your downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Opposite side now. Bring the feet together. Raise the left leg up. Exhale to step forward. Again, you can widen the feet. Really firm through that front heel and pull back through that back heel. As you inhale, raise both arms up, coming into that strong high lunge. Keep the back thigh engaged. Pull the low belly in, maybe sink further forward. Open the arms behind the ears. Take the gaze up. Breathe in. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, scoop the air forward. Exhale to open. Inhale, forward. Exhale, open. Remember, you can always bring that knee onto the floor. Inhale, scoop forward. Exhale, open. One last time. Exhale, out wide. Gentle bend in the back. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, back to plank. You can come straight to down dog or optional vinyasa. Lower down to chaturanga. Maybe even coming straight into an up dog. And down, back up to downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Exhale, send the hips up nice and high. Relaxing your head and your neck. Shift forward to plank. Take a lazy up dog. And then just sit back into a child's pose. Taking a deep cleansing breath. Exhaling out. Just checking back in, see where your head's at. And then we'll come back to downward facing dog. So we're going to take our peak pose soon. We're going to do a wild thing. So if it's too much for you, don't worry, just do what you can. So find some stillness in your down dog. Find extra space. Breathe in, roll those triceps down, push the hips even higher. Then bring the feet together. Raise the right leg up. Bend the knee, open the hip, look under the right shoulder. And then as you exhale, shift forward, coming into a plank, but keep that knee lifted if you can. Flex the foot, keep pushing through the palms, and then roll to the outside edge of the left foot. Bring the right foot to the ground. You can take a rest here for a second. Now from here, you can bring the right hand onto your chest, push the hips up to open the chest. Make sure that this shoulder is stacked above this wrist. This will help make you stronger in this pose. Lift the hips up and then raise the right arm up over the right ear and over towards the floor, and then look towards the hand. Your right foot is supporting you. Really push down through that left foot, the whole surface of the left foot. Breathe into your wild thing. Push the hips up high, gently arching into the back. You should feel really energized now. If it's a challenge, come down. Just be careful of this left arm. Breathe in. Exhale, come back to your plank pose, optional vinyasa, or come back to downward facing dog. Following your breath with every move. Everybody meeting in downward facing dog. It's a little advanced, this pose, so don't worry if you can't do it. You can take a side plank. You can take a supported plank. Options are there. Breathe and raise the left leg up. And bend the knee, open the hip. Come back through center, keeping the leg bent, shift forward to a plank. Roll to the right side, edge of the right side foot, left foot to the floor, lift the hips, open up, reaching towards the floor. You can look down if you want, or look towards your left palm. Keep strong through the right hand, push the hips even higher. Take another breath in here, really root down through that right foot. One last breath. And exhale, coming back to your plank, either coming back into down dog or child's pose, or if you're with me, take a vinyasa. Coming onto your tiptoes, lower down, hold halfway, untap the toes, push up, upward facing dog. Exhale, coming back to downward facing dog. Breathe. If you want, take a child's pose, catch your breath. Checking back in just for a few seconds. And I think we're going to do that one more time. A little bit quicker this time. Come back to downward facing dog. Bring the feet together. Raise the right leg up. Exhale to step forward. Come into a low lunge. Raise the arms up. Grab the elbows. Breathe and point through that. Push through that front heel. Exhale, gently arch. Inhale one more time. Exhale, fold over that front leg. Inhale, this time tuck the back toes. Come into a high lunge. Raise the arms up. Exhale to open the arms out wide. Only back bend if it feels okay. Inhale, round forward. Exhale to open. Inhale, rounding forward. Exhale, open. This time, reach up. And exhale, back to plank. Either take a vinyasa or come straight back to downward facing dog. Everybody meeting in downward dog. Bringing the feet together. Raising the left leg up. Stepping the left foot forward, right knee comes down. Arms up, grabbing the opposite elbows, push through that front heel, pulling the low belly in, maybe arching the upper back. Taking one last breath here, and exhale to fold over that front leg. Breathe in, breathe out. Sliding the foot back, coming into a high lunge now, inhale. Exhale, open the arms out. Inhale, scoop forward. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, scoop forward. Exhale for cactus arms. Now inhale the arms up. And exhale, stepping back to plank or down dog. Optional vinyasa. Cobra or up dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Feel free to take a rest here. Coming down into your child's pose. Or if you're with me, we'll take a wild thing again, one more time. Bringing the feet together, raise the right leg up. Bend the knee, open the hip. Now squaring the hips, but keeping the knee bent. So you're rolling that right thigh down, flex the right foot, shift forward to a plank. Roll to the left side of the left foot, bringing the foot onto the floor, the right foot, lift the hips up. Bring the right arm up and over the head, look towards the right palm. Really push through that left foot and raise the hips up. Take one more breath here. And out. Come all the way back to your plank pose. Taking your optional vinyasa. And meeting in downward facing dog. Again, you can always do what you want here. Experiment with different things. Maybe practicing vinyasas. Raise the left leg up. Bend the knee, open the hip. Inhale, come back, squaring the hips, flexing the left foot. Shift forward to plank. Keep the left foot bent. Roll to the outside edge of the right foot, bring the left foot to the floor. Raise the hips up, raise the arm up and over the head. Looking towards that left palm. Shoulder stacked over the wrist. Breathe in. Push into that right foot. One more breath. And come back to downward facing dog. If you want, you can take another vinyasa. Find your breath. And now lower down to a child's pose. Everybody now taking a nice rest. Taking 3 deep breaths, finding that easy, natural breathing rhythm. As long as it takes. Now those poses are challenging, especially as their back bends, using arm strength, using the whole body as well. So don't feel bad if you weren't able to hold it for very long. Just well done for trying. The great thing about being at home as well is you can really just do whatever feels good for you. Now we're going to come up, make your way onto your back. We're going to start with a boat pose before we cool down. So I think what we'll do is some fun core work. Bring the knees up and bring the shins parallel to the ground. Stretch out through the fingertips, open the chest and hold here. See if you can come a little bit further back. Wait till the abs start shaking and start turning on. Maybe even straighten the legs. Breathe in. And as you exhale, just lower halfway. Holding here for 2 breaths, breathe in. Engage the core, breathe out. 1 more breath in. As you breathe out, come back up. Inhale to lower halfway. Exhale, come up. Good. Inhale, lower. Exhale, hold. Start to straighten the legs if you can. And then come all the way down to the floor. 1 more core exercise, which is my favorite. I don't know if it will be yours. Bring the hands together, interlace the fingers, except for the first finger and thumb. So this one I call Charlie's Angels. So hopefully you'll feel really empowered. So bring the arms up and over the head, point through the fingertips. And we're going to straighten the left leg, point the toes. And then you're going to straighten the right as well. So this can either be on the floor, if you can't lift it up, or if you can, lift it about 1 foot above the floor. Keep pointing through the feet. Keep the legs strong. Inhale while we're here. Exhale, shoot to the outside of the left thigh. Inhale, come back. Exhale, shoot through the middle. Inhale, come back. This time change legs, shoot to the right. Inhale, back. Exhale through the center. Inhaling back. Exhale to the left. Keep going. Inhale back. Exhale through center. Inhale back. Exhale to the right. Just go as slow or as fast as you want, guys. Inhale back. Exhale through center. Inhaling back. Exhale, left side. See if we can do 2 more. Inhaling back. Exhale through the center. Inhale back. Exhale to the right. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale back. Exhale, left side. Bring the knees into the chest. Catch your breath. Just bring the feet down onto the floor, just behind the bum, making sure that the knees stacking above the ankles and the feet at hips distance. Just bring the arms down by the hips and then just lift the hips up. So you're just stretching the core muscles now. Draw the knees towards each other and really push down through the heels. Keep the head and the neck relaxed. If it feels really good, maybe you'll take the hands together, roll the shoulders underneath the back, push the hips up even higher. Just a really good way to counteract that core work. Stretch out those ab muscles, side muscles. And slowly release. Straighten out the left leg. And then bring the right knee into the chest. Really draw the right knee up towards the right shoulder. And keep the left thigh drawing down towards the floor. Reach out through the left heel. This should keep your left leg nice and grounded. And then with the left hand, just gently draw the right knee across to the floor on the opposite side, reaching out through your right hand. And if it's comfortable, take the gaze towards your right palm. Just allow that right hip to slowly move away from the right shoulder as you create length in your twist. Keep the right shoulder on the floor if you can. And just take some nice deep restorative breaths, preparing to come into our final pose. Starting to calm the mind down, ready for Shavasana. Take another breath in here. As you exhale, maybe pull the knee even closer to the floor. And then roll back to center. Just flex the right foot and bend the left knee. Bring the right foot on top of the left knee and draw that knee in, flexing both feet, maybe interlace the fingers. Feel the stretch into the right hip. And then release, straightening the right leg and bending the left knee in towards your left shoulder. Keep pushing out through the right heel and drawing that right thigh down to the ground. Keeping that right leg nice and grounded. As you breathe in, draw the leg even higher. And then exhale, gently twisting the knee across to the side on the right side. Stretch out through the left palm. Keep that left shoulder grounded as you draw that hip away from the shoulder. The neck can be either turning to the left, or if it feels uncomfortable, maybe even turn the same way as the knee. These stretches aren't exactly uniform. You can experiment with them as long as you're being safe. Relaxing the shoulders so that they're down onto the mat. Just feel the left side of the waist release. That left hip, even the glutes. And then roll onto the back, bending the right leg, flexing the left foot and placing it on top of the right knee. So your left ankle is just behind your right knee. Push the leg towards you, flexing both feet, interlace the fingers, and just breathe. Enjoy that stretch on the outer left hip and thigh. If you can't grab, don't worry, maybe just push that knee gently away and pull the foot towards you. Take another breath in. And exhale, release. And just bring both feet up towards the sky, keeping the knees bent. If you can, grab the outside edge of the foot. If you can't, maybe you just grab the shins. Coming into a happy baby pose. So try not to feel silly when we do this one. Pull the knees down towards the floor and the heels up as you draw the low back onto the mat and open the hips. Maybe rocking from side to side. Massaging the back as well. And the back, you might have a few feelings happening in the back as we've been doing some back bending. So don't worry too much. You can always take a few rock and rolls on the spine, really massaging into the back, just trying to find what feels good for you as well. These back bends are an interesting journey. You might find that you may even have overdone it today. It's just through time and practice that you'll find your edge and you'll learn how deep you're allowed to go without feeling pain. And then just start to straighten the legs out long. We're coming into Shavasana now, so no more hard work, no more worrying, just let the body relax. Heels should be just a bit wider than hips distance, and the palms facing up, down by the hips. If you have any pain in the lower back, you can place a big cushion underneath the knees, and this should take away some of that tension. Take a deep breath through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Let the whole body soften now. If you want to, you can put a jacket on or a blanket, as it's actually a little bit chilly today. Just do anything that you want to get yourself comfortable. Just take 5 minutes to relax in Shavasana now. Closing your eyes and untense your eyebrows, unclench your jaw, relaxing the head and the neck. And just let the tongue sink into the back of the throat. Relax your shoulders and relax your arms. And just let the fingers naturally curl towards your palms. Just soften your belly and your hips. Allow your thighs and your knees to relax. Just notice that the ground is really supporting you. And with every breath, maybe you try to sink a little bit deeper. Relax your shins and your calf muscles. Relaxing your ankles and your heels, all the way down to your toes. Give yourself permission to completely relax. Enjoying these last few moments away from any distractions, any responsibilities. Notice how the body feels. And try not to let the mind wander off. Coming back to the breath. And if you've been sat over a desk all week, then these back bends should really help to open you up, helping with your posture, and so many other things. An open back bend is really the opposite to what we're naturally inclined to do when we're feeling sad or depressed or cold, or we tend to curl up in a ball. So these back bends are another way to really open us up, create energy and a new lease of life. And you can always stay in Shavasana as long as you like. If you're ready to come out, start to bring your awareness back. Start to move your fingers and toes and deepen your breath. And take your hands over the head, interlace your fingers, take a full body stretch. And gently bring the knees into the chest. Hugging the knees in, maybe even massaging the back. And then start to slowly rock up, making your way up. Crossing the legs, where we just sign off the practice, bringing the hands together in front of the chest, and then bringing the thumbs to the eyebrow center. Take a breath in gratitude for yourself. Thank you for showing up today. Well done for practicing on this Saturday morning and allowing me to guide you. Hope you have a lovely weekend. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.